that.
And Arsenal have the lead against Manchester United. And Manchester United level.
World, the time has come to...
What a lovely goal for Dennis Bergkamp. And Manchester United have levelled again. And Almunia's way out and into Ronaldo, and United have the lead.
The time has come to
Oh, what a lovely goal. And off the line by Paul Scholes. And Manchester United have a famous victory at Highbury.
Have they ended your title hopes tonight at Highbury?
It looks like that, yes.
Vieira, here's Bergkamp, went for the place, it's Spill, this is Henry! And saved by Sorensen again. It's Thierry Henry's longest barren spell for Arsenal. Now 11 hours and 51 minutes. It's so close to an early strike. Good run by Bergkamp, well picked up. Reyes was there, comes to Vieira, oh, what a ghastly finish. Reyes flicked it on, that's a horrible finish. Lauren to Bergkamp. And Edu, already making his presence felt. Edu into Ljungberg! And Arsenal have the lead after 9 minutes. And it's been coming since the first kick. They've played some attractive football here. Lovely finish by Freddie Ljungberg at the end of a sweet move. Could it have been cut out as Edu found Ljungberg? Well, the finish was true. And he has 11 goals now this season. Edu. Reyes. Back to Edu. Good shot off the post, Thierry Henry! He cannot buy a goal. And the barren spell continues. Edu hits the post, and from there, he had to score. Good start here by Arsenal, though. No sense of a hangover from Tuesday night. Henry, this time perhaps. Thierry Henry! And the horrible barren spell ends. It's his first goal in 8 games. It's his first goal in a minute over 12 hours. And it is all Arsenal. And what a way to strike back after the defeat against Manchester United. The flag stayed down and Henry stayed cool. And that's more like it. Where Villa are pedestrian and error-strewn, Arsenal are classy and cruising. Thierry Henry, the difference between the two sides is enormous. Henry to Bergkamp, sees the run of Cole, lovely teamwork, Ashley Cole! Aston Villa feared an Arsenal backlash. Whack, they've had it. Villa 0, Arsenal 3 in the opening half hour. Lovely teamwork here. Look at Bergkamp pulling away from his marker. The quick ball to Ashley Cole. His passion for Arsenal has been questioned this week by some. And a very important strike for Ashley Cole. Ljungberg won it cleanly, now Vieira. Bergkamp pops it up to Reyes. Oh, lovely ball to Vieira. Vieira, Sorensen came, then went back. Here's Patrick Vieira. And still, and wide. 70 years ago, Arsenal won 7-1 at Aston Villa, and they could have had 7 in the first half. Misjudged by De La Cruz. Reyes. Ashley Cole tanking up alongside him. Ball played into Thierry Henry. Oh, beautifully done! And only the finish was required. Thierry Henry, who did so well, could have had a first half hat-trick. And Arsenal could have been out of sight by now. De La Cruz. Edu. Bergkamp, Arsenal come again. Oh, lovely ball to Ljungberg. He looks up, Henry arriving now. He plays the safe ball to Reyes. Jemba nutmegged. Bergkamp. It would have been a lovely fourth. Aston. That's a good switch of play. De La Cruz, Solano, they have a fine understanding of De La Cruz. Oh, this is Villa's best movement of the game. And hell! And Villa's best move of the game gives them the goal. Surely they don't have enough time to stage a wonderful, wonderful comeback. It can't happen, can it? But it was a lovely move. De La Cruz and Solano again combining, and the finish was crisp. And Hell's 7th of the season. Up in the sky from Melberg. Never seemed to jump at Flamini. And Holloway. And there's a Villa Park roar, and you haven't heard that all evening. And punched away by Lehmann. Besson scuffed it. Solano over. Way towards Angel. Davis was in there. Moore was in there. Over by Bobby Solano. Reyes doubling up there with Cole and snuffing out the Aston Villa threat. This is Pires. To Henry. And through here, Thierry Henry. He went for the pass. Pires has got to be offside. Had Henry gone on by himself and shot, Arsenal would have had a fourth, I'm sure. Vieira. Pires. Flamini. Sees the run of Ljungberg. Sorensen thought about coming out. The bounce carries it to Pires. Robert Pires. Oh, the post. It was a great challenge back at him by Olaf Melberg. The bounce over De La Cruz. Great recovery from Melberg.
We created plenty of chances, bounced back well, and overall I feel we had a good game going forward against Man United, and you've seen that today again, twice in front against them, and today we have created plenty of chances, so the team is a lot of dynamic in the team, a good game going forward, and we want of course to stabilise our defensive side, and we did it much better today.
You give people of that quality time and space, they'll hurt you, and we did that in the first half and they hurt us badly.
Since I'm playing at Arsenal, I think the third goal that was scored today, that was just an amazing goal, I think, and the passing and the movement on the third goal was just, I think, tremendous. But well, it was important, to bounce back after the Man United game. But now we need to be consistent also.
That was more like the Arsenal of last season.
Most definitely. After the defeat on Tuesday night, it's the first thing you do if the manager, you want a reaction. Got a reaction today. He picked the strongest team possible And as Thierry Henry said, that the third goal was now almost impossible to stop. And brilliant. This, as we say, is the Arsenal of last season at the best. The pace in which they play the game, the trickier on the ball, the ability for the man in space, always loads of time. Great ball across the part here, into Bergkamp, great run by Ashley Cole. What a finish that is. That is a real top-class goal. And that's the exact reaction that the manager would have expected after Tuesday.
Cole's in the headlines again, you'll find on Sunday morning.
Don't you think he looks good in that blue strip?
I think he scores in it as well. Right.
We're joined by people who know all about it. England and Arsenal footballer Sol Campbell and political commentator John Sargent. He's the author of Maggie, Her Fatal Legacy. I don't think it's an authorised book. So, in politics and in sport too, I mean, Ellen MacArthur set out to break a record. That was the purpose of her going around the world. But in a lot of sports, the purpose is not to make a record. It happens because you want to win a game or you need to score more goals.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. You know, you set out in the season to hopefully, like Aston, we want to win the championship. You know, and there's a lot of twists and turns which happen.
So you have the short-term aim, and if the process that leads to a record, that's fine. But the aim is not the record.
Yeah, you know, you want to win the games, you want to win a championship.
I wonder too in the Arsenal case whether in the end, having gone, what was it, 49 games without a defeat, that then becomes almost like an albatross around your neck. And you got beaten in the end by Man U as well.
Well, yeah, that was tough.
Because it's in the players' minds, I think.
Yeah, you know, you're playing and you're playing good football, and you know the momentum takes you. Every game goes by. You know the pressure gets to you. But
talking of the pressure, I mean, early in the season, Ferguson was saying, because obviously you won.
Manchester United manager.
Manchester United manager was saying, he's a kind of wind-up artist par excellence. He should be in politics. But he was saying, oh, well, all right, Arsenal...
He's a Labour supporter.
Arsenal won last year, but they won't be a real team until they win the championship twice. Now, do you feel that's been a pressure on you, the pressure to live up to Ferguson's thing and win the championship twice?
I think, I don't, you know, with Arsenal, we haven't won, you know, 2 consecutive
championships. That's right, and that's the point Ferguson made. And did that make you feel under pressure?
Not me, really, no.
He's
not
never
personally.
under pressure. He just takes it all in his stride. John, politicians, do they take records seriously? I mean, does it matter to Mr. Blair that he's now become the longest-serving Labour Prime Minister?
Well, they like it and they don't like it. What they really don't like is the threat, because the threat is always time for a change. That's the most powerful slogan in politics. And particularly nowadays, where you've got this enormous coverage, particularly of the Prime Minister, 24 hours a day, people get bored. So when Margaret Thatcher came to her 10-year thing, she said, I don't want this too much made of it. And of course the press then make of it, and there's the question mark is immediately, how long is she staying? And for any politician to have that question mark is not very happy.
And did it matter to Mrs. Thatcher that she was the longest-serving?
Well, she then, of course,
Prime Minister.
Yeah, and she then, of course, at the end, when her party decided to destroy her, this is putting it in simple terms, it's a bit more complicated than that, as Michael will remember. She then said, of course, to the people, but hold on, I've never been defeated in a general election. And so
it's a powerful argument.
Powerful argument. So I've not been defeated in a general election. I've stood 3 times. The public, I've won 3 times. What is all this about?
Did it matter to her? The whole idea of being the first woman Prime Minister, the longest-serving Prime Minister in the 20th century.
I think all of that.
Continuously.
But I think, rather like Saul was saying about football, I think she just went on doing it. She just felt there was more to do and she couldn't imagine any change. I think now Blair probably is very focused on Thatcher's record, because he could achieve that, even keeping to his word and not standing at the election after this coming one. By the way, that's something we hadn't mentioned yet, that, you know, Blair has put himself in an extraordinary position, because, yes, he faces this pressure of people saying, you've been there too long, and when are you going? But he said when he's going before the election after 2005.
I think what did matter to him, though, was Labour, well, him, really, not just Labour, having a full second term. Because we've never actually had a full second term. Certainly inside the party, that's what he kept preaching to us. We have to have a full second term and then a third term, because that really will be a record.
No, I wonder so that I mean, records matter in sport, particularly you know, if you're an Arsenal supporter or a Man U supporter or whatever, it matters that you've won more league championships or FA Cup or whatever. But in politics, I wonder if it matters to ordinary folk. People don't care whether he's the longest-serving Prime Minister or not, do they?
I think, you know, now, you know, you're not going to be remembered how long. It's what you
You've done.
Yeah, what you've
True.
done and
Very
how you've moved the people on and, you know, the kind of things that you put in place.
I mean, Attlee was only there for, what, 5 and a bit years?
But I
6
mean, he
years.
achieved
Just 6.
just 6 years because he only had a very short second term.
Yeah.
But like it, whether you approve of it or not, he made lasting changes.
But the strange thing about what that was, the 1950 election, Labour came back with what we would regard as quite a reasonable majority of 17.
Yes.
But they lost heart.
Yeah.
So you know, later on in the sort of, you know, the Wilson period, that would have been okay. Callaghan would have been pleased to have had a majority of 17 when he took over, but he didn't. So, you know, you do get this curious thing about what are you setting as the norm? And that's where I think Michael's right. Margaret Thatcher has got some kind of norm that's been set, plucked at random,
Yeah,
almost,
you think
11
that
years.
everybody subsequently then wants to try and beat that norm?
People then, well, they sort of think, well, hold on, you know, she was there for 11 years, and either why shouldn't I be there for 11 years, or that's perhaps the time when I should think of going because, of course, she stayed on too long. There are so many people in the Tory party who feel if only she'd gone.
Do you
in
think she stayed on
1989,
too long?
if she'd gone then.
Not a
Do you think she stayed on too long? Oh, not a
He went and tried to convince her to go to the
That's
second round. He obviously doesn't
last
think that.
Thatcher line.
It does. I mean, the problem with records in sport as in politics is if you break a record, you get into the history books, but there's also only one way to go after the record, which is down.
What do they say? All political careers end in tragedy.
That was Enoch Powell. That is a problem in sport too, isn't it? I mean, if you get a record, you're in the history books, and that's there. But if you're still involved in the sport, probably the way you don't stay up there, do you?
Oh, well, you know, sometimes, you know, you want it to keep on going, but, you know, nothing lasts forever.
Unless you're Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah.
We are going to have a quiz because it's that time that we've been waiting for.
Oh, no.
I love them. You love them. Saul and John love them, they told me. Only Michael and Diane totally hate them, which is why it is time for another quiz of the week. As the tension mounts in the studio, the first question is, who gave the longest continuous budget speech, and how long was it?
Gladstone?
Gladstone, I think.
5.5 hours?
4 hours and something, I think.
I was surprised.
Gladstone is correct.
Thank you.
5 hours?
4 hours.
4 hours?
No, 3 hours.
4 hours and 45 minutes.
Well, hold on. That's only 15 minutes out.
15 minutes is a lifetime in
I
politics.
said 5 hours.
You were in the
and you
wrong
said, hold
60
on.
minute segment.
All right, Smarty Pants, what was the date?
No, I don't know that. No, I
18th of
certainly
April, 1853, when you were just a boy. Right, second question. Who is England's record international goal scorer?
Charlton. Bobby.
You got it.
Sorted.
How many?
49.
49 is correct. Who was the second? Michael.
No idea.
Might as well ask him about life on Mars. Second was
Lineker.
Gary Lineker, who got 48.
Yeah.
1 out. Well, now we like when our guests get these questions because they're useless as usual. Who was the longest serving MP and how long did he or she spend in the House of Commons?
Churchill.
Churchill.
Correct.
62 years.
Correct.
Mm.
Well,
I don't think I've ever got a quiz question right.
It's the only one you have ever got right. All right, final one. Who holds the record?
What about this one, though? Which member of the panel saw Churchill
There you go.
in the House of Commons in his last year?
Saul.
I did.
No, not so.
Not so.
It was you, all right.
No, it's got to be slipped in.
Who
We're asking
holds
questions.
Is that in the book? No, don't answer that.
It should have
Who
been
holds
in the book,
record
but I left
for
it out
the
because I
most
didn't want to mention the
appearances?
book.
Who holds the record for the most appearances on British television?
Diane
It's not
Abbott.
me.
Andrew Neil.
It's not me.
The most appearances on British television. let's think
David
about
Frost?
it. David Dimbleby.
No, good
Oh,
answer.
it's a newsreader, is it?
No, it is Countdown's Richard Whiteley,
Oh,
Oh,
who has made over 10,000 appearances.
a great man.
Don't you hate him? That's your lot, I'm afraid. Not just for this week, but for next week too. Yeah, our hard-working politicians, they're so knackered after 6 weeks here, they need a midterm break. It's only mid-February. I'm not complaining, because it leaves me more time to jump in the old Aston Martin, dash off to Moss Bros to get measured up, for April the 8th. I'm sure I'll be there. The invite's on its way. But make sure that you're back reporting for duty here on BBC One 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye.